today I'm in the kitchen with my great friend Lee Gross, who's the best cook I know. And he's gonna show me how to make one of my favorite dishes that I've always wanted to know how to make, which is, I can never pronounce it right.
The Kinpira part or the Bibimbop part?
The Bibimbop part. Bibimbop.
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 Which in Korean translates to all mixed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so it's a Korean rice dish, essentially.
Exactly.
We're gonna use brown rice, right?
We are, because it's healthier.
It's healthier. And my favorite part of it is, I have two favorite parts. The kimchi, which is like a spicy Korean cabbage that I love. And the Kinpira, which is a Japanese dish,
It's
right?
Japanese, so this is kind of a Japanese-Korean fusion.
Fusion,
Yeah.
okay.
Some vegetables and foods that I like to eat in the bibimbap. Broccolini, a little baby bok choy, some fried tofu, a mushroom satay, and some bean sprouts and zucchini that I just quickly wok sauteed with a little ginger and garlic. And it can be really any ingredients. We're gonna make the Kinpira, we're gonna mix it into the rice, and then there are toppings, which is gonna bring flavor and allow us to season the dish as we want. I mean, let's make the Kinpira, because that takes a little bit of chopping.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, burdock is this funny looking guy, which is a tenacious root, but it's really good for the blood, according to traditional Chinese medicine, good for the liver. It's a very strengthening, healthy vegetable.
I
and
love
really
it.
underutilized, yeah. So the first thing we should do is peel it, because it's got a very, very thick skin. We're gonna make matchsticks, or julienne, but this is a Japanese julienne. They're a little irregular. They're more natural. So we're gonna cut the burdock on an angle, on the bias, a sharp bias. We're gonna make thin slices, and we're gonna try and get it so that they fall off the knife into like a deck of cards or dominoes, what have you. That's great. And as thin and as sharp an angle as you can make.
Okay.
And don't worry, if they fall all around, you can always reline them before you go back over them and cut them into the matchsticks. Line them up as like little soldiers.
Oh, I love learning tricks like this.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back and just start keeping my fingers tucked in, just start doing a nice julienne.
Okay.
Some of these Japanese chefs gets like pins, incredibly thin Kinpira cuts or julienne cuts, but I like a little bit of texture. It's perfect. Almost at the end of the stack. So I'm gonna add these to the water because they do discolor pretty quickly.
Wow, I can't believe I just learned how to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Skill you'll have for life. Let's do the same thing with the carrot.
Okay. Do you start with the thin end?
I do. You can do this with any root vegetable. It's the easiest way to do julienne other than using a mandolin. So one other thing we gotta do, it's a little ginger to just finish the flavor.
Cool.
So there's two ways I like to peel ginger. One of them is with a paring knife, which is the obvious way, but an easier way, if you don't even have a knife lying around or you don't want to cut yourself, is to use a spoon.
A spoon?
A spoon, yeah. If you just take the ginger, the skin just peels off really, really nicely. Just like that. No paring knife necessary.
It does work.
We're going to use grated ginger, which is the best way to get the juice out of the ginger. So I also prepared a dashi, which in Japan, in most parts of the world, they use a flavorful stock as the basis for cooking, right? And it's a two-part cooking. So we're sauteing and we're adding some liquid, so it's really a braise. You just want to keep it moving.
Okay.
And keep your heat high enough so that you hear that sizzle, but not too high that it's going to scorch. A little bit of color on the burdock is nice. It's going to add more flavor.
Okay.
We're going to cook this for about 5 minutes or so. It's looking good. You can see a little color. It's softening. All we're going to do is we're going to add our carrots over the top.
Okay.
And you just want to add liquids to come up about halfway. We're going to add some soy sauce.
Okay.
And it really is, to taste. I added the mirin as well, which is going to concentrate and get sweet, and a little bit of agave. I'm going to make sure it's at a nice boil. So we're going to cover it, turn it down to low.
So I noticed that you're using a smaller cover. Is that on purpose?
In Japan, they use drop lids. They're as close to the food as possible. It actually keeps the flavor sort of concentrated. I like to use a lid that's smaller than the size of the sauté pan.
Oh, cool. While our Kinpira is bubbling away, I just want you to talk me through some of your toppings, because I know it's kind of a marriage of all these delicious flavors.
Well, the most flavorful is the red spicy miso sauce. It's really just as simple as cooking a little ginger and garlic adding red miso paste, which is a fermented soybean paste. You can use chili. I love this stuff. I can't get enough. This is our hot pepper sesame oil. It's a Szechuan toasted sesame oil. And it's got this amazing sesame aroma and the heat and the savoriness from the miso. It's a great condiment.
So that's like a 2-second sauce.
You cook it on the stove for about 2 minutes. Toasted sesame seeds, I think, are a necessity for crunch, extra flavor, texture. So a lot of people go to a hot pan with dry sesame seeds and find that they burn really quickly. If you wash them and rinse them, in the time that the moisture cooks off, they're cooking more evenly. This is nori seaweed, which most people would know from sushi. It's what wraps maki rolls. This has been finely cut. I like to top my rice bowl with this. I think it adds flavor, more nutrients, and a nice texture too. This is just some julienne scallion or green onion or spring onion, which adds some freshness, flavor, cut some of the richness from the sauce as well. And our favorite, the kimchi. It's a traditional Korean pickle. It's got heat, it's got salt, and usually it has a little bit of fish product in it.
Is it good for you, kimchi?
It's great. All fermented products, naturally fermented products, are great for digestion. I've taken the lid off, and I'm gonna increase the heat. The residual sugar from the mirin and from the agave is gonna start to glaze the vegetables. So this is really close. See the shine? I think we're gonna pull it now. There's one last step, because we haven't used our ginger. I like to add it off the pan because I like that fresh flavor. I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of the juice, toss the ginger a little bit.
God, that smells good.
Why don't we add a little bit of toasted sesame? That finishes our assortment.
Gorgeous. Look. Wow.
Can I bully up some rice?
Yes. Okay, so I like to do it.
How do you like to do it? Everyone
has their own way.
Yeah, that's what's fun about it.
And I like to put the sauce.
I like to add my veg first. I'm gonna go with little mushrooms, little tofu, some of these beautiful Chinese greens, broccolini. Of course, our Kinpira. Yours looks very nice.
Thank you very much, Chef. I'm gonna do a couple of toasted sesame seeds.
There you go. I like a lot of scallion.
Yeah, the scallion is really great.
And of course, a bunch of kimchi.
Oh yeah, I'm all about the kimchi. Nori on top.
And then we mix up. We bibimbop it. We get it all mixed up.
Ay, ay, ay.
So many flavors. You know?
It's incredible. Thanks, Lee.
All right. My pleasure.
I'm so happy I know how to make this now.